Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Makaya. If you're new to this channel, please hit the subscribe button so you can join the family. And if you're a returning subscriber, you are more than welcome back. So as you can see from the title of today's video, I thought that I would come to you with 5 practical steps you can use to set your goal and actually achieve them. I could swear by these steps. They have helped me in every aspect of my life. And I just wanted to share them with you, and hopefully someone out there finds them helpful and employs them in their daily life. All right, so let's get into it. Step number 1 is you want to state your overall goal. Actually, I would recommend you write down your goal. So if you have yourself a journal or a piece of paper, it could be anything, write your goal down. There's just something different when you write something down. It's just different. So I would highly recommend writing your goal down. And you can always go back to it and look at it, or you could type it in your phone. Just have it, written somewhere that you can revisit later. So once you have your goal written down, then the second step is you want to identify where you are, where you want to be, and give yourself a deadline. How long is it going to take you to get there? This is very important because I feel like you work more efficiently when you have a deadline, as opposed to just doing things without being pressed. Like there's no sense of urgency. So I feel like when you have a deadline, then you can easily just make sure that you're on top of your game every single day and you're working towards that goal. One thing that one of my mentors told me was to make sure every single day you're putting in time towards whatever your goal is. So if you say to yourself that, okay, for instance, like I would like to get into this graduate program. What do you need to do in order to get to that? Make sure you're putting in 2 hours at the very least. And this is a good segue into step number 3, which is breaking down your goal into actionable steps. If I just state my overall goal, if I write it and say that, like for instance, I would like to lose weight, that doesn't mean anything. It's not very practical. It's very vague. It doesn't tell you what are you going to be doing, how are you going to get there, what things are you going to change. It doesn't say anything. So it's at this step, the third step, where you want to be very specific and say that I will do this and that to get there. And you want to be very realistic as well when it comes to the time frame. Don't be overambitious, or else that's just going to cause a lot of frustration. But also don't sell yourself too short in that you give yourself an infinite amount of time to reach there. You want to be very practical, very realistic, and just make sure that you're being efficient with that. So once you have your steps broken down, you could actually even break them down to what are you going to be doing per day? What are you going to be doing per week? What are you going to be doing per month in order to get to where you want to be? And I would say at the end of every week or at the end of every month, it's always good to check in with yourself to evaluate and see, okay, how many hours have I been putting in towards this goal? What am I changing? What am I doing differently? Always good to keep yourself accountable in that sense. You could also get other people to hold you accountable, but you could always do it yourself as well. So then once you have your steps written down, your time frame, and your goal seems more practical, then the fourth step, which I think is more of a tip, is you want to be flexible. So what I have come to learn in just different things I've been doing in my life is that sometimes what you were doing at the beginning of something doesn't always work as time goes on. Because keep in mind, you're constantly evolving, you're constantly changing. So even as you're working towards that goal, during that whole process, you're making strides and being in a different position. So you can't expect what was working before to continue to work. Sometimes different things will just call for you to put in more effort, or will call for you to find a different way to do things, So that's why it's important to always check in with yourself, hold yourself accountable, just so you see if you're actually making progress, because you might hit a plateau and you don't even know unless you check in with yourself. So be very flexible with your strategies and be honest, be brutally honest with yourself, and don't be afraid to sort of like switch things around, try different things, and just see how those things work. So then the fifth and final step, which I feel like is the most important one of them all, is don't idolize your goal. I am very guilty of looking at my goal as this is the thing that defines me. Don't let your goals define you. Don't let them cause you to be in a state of mind where you're constantly beating yourself up just because you haven't put in the 2 hours that you said you'd put in. Don't be in that state of mind where you're constantly looking at the next best thing because you forget to celebrate how much progress you've made. I would say enjoy the process, enjoy where you are, enjoy where you're going. And hey, life isn't linear. You know, I've had moments in my life where I was working towards something. I would put in my all into it only for it not to work. But through the process, I learned different skills, different things that then helped me in a later opportunity that I never even thought about. And so that's why it's very important to just enjoy the process, enjoy how things go. The process can be painful sometimes, you know. Don't remain fixated on your end goal, and if that doesn't work, then you're completely bummed and you beat yourself up and you're just not happy with yourself. Don't be frustrated, be happy, take care of yourself. Your mental health comes first in everything. With that, I will now end this video. Please hit that like button if you like this video, share with your friends if you think it's worth sharing, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.